absorption. This is the best diagram for the absorption of food. So first thing, what you need to do, Martin, either take that. It's better to take the screenshot and copy it as it is, right? It will be very helpful for you to understand how the absorption and where the absorption takes place, right? One more thing, this will uh, uh, this will be very helpful while dealing with the need question as well, right? So it is helpful for both of the examination for you, right? So look, this is the stomach part, and this is complete small intestine. Then I have again divided into duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, and this is the large intestine. So normally, partial digestion takes place in stomach. We have already understood, and absorption not only absorption, even the digestion do not complete digestion do not take place in the stomach. In the stomach, the partial digestion takes place. Still, there are something which are radially absorbable and which is absorbed by the stomach only. So water, alcohol, some monosaccharide like glucose, right, and some drugs like medicines. So they are absorbed by the stomach. Rest of the things are not at all absorbed by the stomach. Then it comes to the small intestine. The duodenum part of the small intestine, it absorbs iron, calcium, and amino acid. Jejunum part, it monosaccharide as usual like glucose, amino acids, some amino acids, fatty acids, and vitamins and minerals, vitamins and water. Then come to the ileum, vitamin B12 and bile salt and water. It is absorbed over here. When come to the large intestine, we know it do not participate in the digestion part. Its sole work is absorption only. So the water, it do not want water to go as a waste. So it convert liquid food into solid part, right? Liquid waste into solid waste, right? So it absorbs lots of water, some minerals, largely salt is absorbed over here. Drugs, vitamins are produced by bacteria and they are also absorbed at this part. Is that clear, Martin? Yes, Martin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So take the screenshot and leave some space for the making this diagram. And I hope that after the class you will write it down. Right. Write down something. Absorption of nutrient. Fine. 90% of absorption of nutrient. 90% of absorption of nutrient occurs in the small intestine, comma. The other 10% occur in stomach. The other 10% occur in stomach and large intestine. Full stop. Some water and salt, alcohol, and drugs are absorbed at the stomach. Next point. Water and product of water and product of bacterial digestion like vitamin B complex, water and product of bacterial digestion like vitamin B complex are absorbed are absorbed at large intestine. Next point. glucose and galactose. Glucose and galactose are are absorbed by active transport. Active transport. The most rapidly the most rapidly transported monosaccharide, the most rapidly transported monosaccharide is galactose. Absorption of amino acid is done by active transport. Is done by active transport. Now there is something special which I want to tell you. Look, there is another this diagram. Try to understand. Uh, Try to understand. I want your 100% focus over here. Look, we have already talked that polysaccharide, disaccharide, like glucose, lactose, sucrose, maltose, they are disaccharide. They are converted to galactose. They all are absorbed by active transport. Then second thing which we discussed that the water, it's absorbed by osmosis. Protein, it is absorbed by active transport, means amino acid active transport. Now come to the fat. So fats are broken down into triglyceride, we know, right? Glycerol and triglyceride. Now their triglycerides are broken down into fatty acid and glycerol. Fatty acid and glycerol, they are transferred, they are absorbed through simple diffusion process. First thing, right? But they are not transported or absorbed through the uh, uh, these arteries and veins, right? They are absorbed by these pipes with these yellow color. What they are basically called lacteals. What are the lacteal? Lacteals are basically lymph vessels. So look, blood vessels absorb and transport amino acid, minerals, water, and other things. But fat is not absorbed by the and it is not circulated into blood directly by the blood vessel. It is absorbed by the what? The lymph vessels, they are called lacteal, right? Is it clear or not? Tell me. Tell me. Martin, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you got this point or not?
No, can you repeat it?
Yeah, sure. What I said that look, inside this is the structure or this is the diagram or of our what? This is diagram of villi, right? This is diagram of villi. Inside villi, this outer layer is made up of epithelial layer. Inside this epithelial layer, there are two things: arteries and veins. Look, these are the blood vessels. It is written over here. And the central part is thicker vessels. This is the what? This is the lymph vessel. We call it lacteal. So look, what I said that sugar and amino acid they are absorbed into the small intestine into villi and they are mixed to the blood through blood vessels. But this fat means fatty acid and glycerol. They are not absorbed by the blood vessels. Rather, they are absorbed by the lymph vessels. Clear? Is that clear, Martin? Hello, Martin. Martin, are you there? Hello, Martin.
Yes, sir.
Did you got it?
Yeah, yes,
Please note down.
this is Billy, right?
Yeah, villi. No, no. We write like villi, but we call it villi. Got it? Initiate it like villi. Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine. So please note down. So one more thing. Fat is first dissolved into the water with the help of bile salt. We have already understood. Then this is called micelles. After micelles, it is broken down into small fat droplet. They are called chylomicron, right? So fat is absorbed in the form of chylomicron. Don't forget this term, chylomicron. It is written chylomicron, right? So please write down absorption of fatty acids and glycerol. Absorption of fatty acid and glycerol. In bracket, please note down fat. Absorption of fatty acid and glycerol and fat soluble vitamin takes place through passive process. Takes place through passive process. Full stop. Fatty acid and glycerol are insoluble to water. Fatty acid and glycerol are insoluble to water. Therefore, they cannot reach to blood stream directly. Full stop. They are first incorporated. They are first incorporated into small spherical water soluble. They are first incorporated into small spherical water soluble droplet called micelles. Called micelles. Full stop. Further, micelle, further, micelle are converted into very small droplet. Further, micelles are converted into very small droplet of fat called chylomicron. Called chylomicron. Full stop. The chylomicron are absorbed into lymph vessel. Chylomicrons are absorbed into lymph vessel called lacteal. One last point. About 90% of all water, about 90% of all water are absorbed by about 90% of all water are absorbed by small intestine through osmosis. Through osmosis. Clear? Yes, Martin. Absorption is completed.
Yes.
Now there are some disorders of digestive system. So the first disorder is that is the jaundice. Jaundice is an liver infection, right? Uh, that we have understood. So first is jaundice. Jaundice is not given over here. So look, one more. Let me add jaundice. Jaundice, no doubt. Jaundice is an liver infection. Jaundice is an liver infection, and due to jaundice, uh, eyes become yellow, skin become yellow, right? So due to liver infection, and in jaundice, collection of collection of bilirubin and biliverdin, collection of bilirubin and biliverdin takes place in blood, right? Vomiting, you know what is the vomiting, right? That is the ejection of the content which is present in the stomach, that is due to the reflex action. This is called vomiting, right? And then the rest thing is that is the diarrhea, right? Diarrhea is given. That is the abnormal frequency of the bowel movement. It is a liquidity of facial discharge, that is called diarrhea. It is also takes place due to infection, right? Constipation, uh, the feces are retained within the rectum, right? And bowel movement occur irregularly, that is called constipation. And indigestion, this is the condition when the food is not properly digested, that is called indigestion. So these are the some disorder. And one more disorder which you can understand, there is a PM, protein energy malnutrition. It takes place between the child 0 to 6 years, right? Night blindness takes place due to deficiency of vitamin E, anemia due to iron, goiter due to deficiency of vitamin I, kwashiorkor, that is 1 to 5 year child. This is the limb are retarded growth takes place due to malnutrition, right? Marismus takes place in a child which are less than 1 year, and the ribs become visible to due to malnutrition. So these are the some malnutritional diseases, right? So that's it for the this chapter. And if you want to go through with the NCRT, and if you have any doubt, please ask me right now. Martin. Martin, go through with the NCRT. Let me know if
Yeah,
you
okay,
have
sir.
any. Okay. Then we will the next chapter after your doubt clearance, we will start with the next chapter. That is the respiration or breathing or exchange of human being. Is that done, Martin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start with the breathing and exchange of gases. The next part, the next chapter. That is the chapter number 17. So first and foremost, which is the most important part, Martin, which can be asked. They can ask you draw the well-labeled diagram of human respiratory system. Then you have to draw this diagram. The first and foremost thing, which is very important, right? Then you have to draw the diagram, right? And this is the human respiratory system, where this is the windpipe and trachea, and there are some rings called cartilaginous rings. They are incomplete rings, right? And this is the bronchus. Left bronchus means they are called bronchi. There's then cartilage. Look, one more thing which I want to tell you: this cartilage is a pipe. This is windpipe, right? Uh, this is made up of like this kind of the rings, like this kind of means this is they are the incomplete rings. This incomplete part is backward, back side of our body, like this way. This is this kind of things are there, right? I mean they are not complete, right? So this is technically called trachea, and we called it windpipe. It is made up of cartilage. We know the what is the cartilage, and we have studied cartilage already. Then this trachea or windpipe is divided into two parts. Each part is called bronchus. Collectively, we call them bronchi. Bronchus is the singular term, and bronchi is the plural term. Further, these bronchus get divided or get branched into further many branches. These branches are called bronchioles, right? At the end of bronchiole, so this is the bronchiole. At the end of bronchiole, there are some balloon-like, small balloon-like structure, which are meant for the exchange of the gases. These balloon-like structures are called alveoli. So basically, alveoli are made up of epithelium, right? Epithelium. So because the epithelial layer is best for the absorption of the gases or some substances, right? Upper part, look, and this the lower part of this is limited or it is sealed by a muscular structure called diaphragm. Below this, there is a digestive system, right? So the muscular part diaphragm divided into two chambers: upper thoracic cavity and lower abdominal cavity. Thoracic cavity, when I say it's a respiratory organ, right? Abdominal cavity, when I say it's a digestive system, right? Then these lungs are being, I'll tell you in the next way. So one more diagram is there. Look, you can see trachea again, bronchi, bronchioles, right? And lungs are divided into further many parts, right? So our left lung is smaller because the heart get fit over here. So this place where the heart get fit is called cardiac notch. This is the left heart. Left heart is have this left lobe, and there are two lobes: this upper lobe and lower lobe. Right part of the lungs have three lobes. There are three lobes. These are the three lobes, right? And this again, this is a diaphragm. Our lung remain what I want to, why I'm showing you this diagram as well. Look, here is a blue color, this is structure. The lungs are covered with a protective membrane. This is called pleura. So pleura is the protective membrane. It is made up of epithelial tissue. Inside pleura, there are a fluid called pleural fluid, right? So lungs remain protected with a layer called pleura and pleural fluid, right? Again, this is diaphragm, and these are the alveoli. So this is the diagram. You can take the screenshot of this one. It's important for you. Got it? Yes, Martin.
Yes, sir.
Again, I have discussed complete respiratory system in detail in this diagram. Look, there we in the previous slide or previous PPT, we have discussed about only lungs. Here we are talking about the complete respiratory system. This is the complete human respiratory system. Look, the pores which are visible over here, we call them nostrils, right? Nostrils are just these pore or these opening which is visible to from outside. Inside there, it means inside this chamber, this nose chamber, there is a nasal cavity, right? And this is the oral cavity. So it is suggested to take oxygen from the nose because nose is given to us from the God for the from the nature or from the God for the taking the air. Some people they take air from the mouth as well. You know, it is suggested by athlete, suggested to athlete by their coaches that while running, while doing something, if you want to maintain the stamina, you have not to take the air from mouth. You have to take air from the nose and then you have to release from mouth. Right. So that's how they suggest us. So because effective respiration is done when we take the air through the nose only. Till this point, pharynx. Try to understand. Till this point, pharynx, both nasal cavity and oral cavity, they reaches here. They are common. From here onward, the windpipe and food pipe get separated. Right. Windpipe is called trachea. At the top of trachea, there is a larynx. Larynx is called sound box. Note it down. Larynx is the heading will be human respiratory system. Larynx is called sound box. Larynx is called sound box or voice box. It is also known as Adam's apple in man. It is also known as Adam's apple in man. Full stop. With the help of larynx, with the help of larynx, we are able to produce sound. Full stop. Larynx is, it is written over here. Larynx is made up of two pair of membrane. Larynx is made up of two pair of membrane. Upper pair is called false vocal cord. Upper pair is called false vocal cord and lower pair is called true vocal cord. Full stop. Now look, after the larynx, there is a windpipe. This way. This windpipe is called trachea. It is made up of cartilage, and basically this is made up of hyaline cartilage. Types of cartilage we have already understood, and this is made up of hyaline cartilage. It is also called windpipe, right? And this is the structure of windpipe. So inside, you have to note down this one. Inside the windpipe or trachea, there are ciliary epithelium, right? They prevent the entry of some carbon particle, dust particle, bacteria or viruses. There is also gel-like substance called mucus. Mucus cells secrete mucus, and mucus cell have lysozyme, so they trap the antigens or bacteria or virus and they kill them. Right? Is that clear, Martin?
Yes.
Great. So next point. Windpipe, windpipe or trachea is made up of windpipe or trachea is made up of rings of hyaline cartilage, rings of hyaline cartilage, which are incomplete, which are incomplete posteriorly. Full stop. Trachea is lined by, next point, trachea is lined by ciliary epithelium, ciliary epithelium, which prevent the entry of, which prevent the entry of dust, carbon, or germs, which prevent the entry of dust, carbon, and germs. Full stop. It is also lined by mucus cells, which secrete mucus. Full stop. Mucus also prevent and kill germs, germs and antigen. Full stop. Next. So this was the larynx we studied, then it's the trachea part, right? And then next point. Trachea is further divided into, trachea is further divided into bronchus, which leads to lungs. Next, there are a pair of lungs in thoracic cavity. There are a pair of lungs in thoracic cavity. Full stop. The lungs are, the lungs are enclosed into two membrane. The lungs are enclosed into two membrane called pleura, which is filled with, which is filled with pleural fluid, which is filled with pleural fluid. Full stop. Pleural fluid and pleura protect lungs from injury and friction. Next point. The bronchi bears a small balloon-like structure called alveoli. Bronchi bear small balloon-like structure, villi, alveoli, sorry, alveoli, alveoli, full stop. There are 300 millions. There are 300 millions alveoli in two lungs. Means each of us have 300 million alveoli. They are made up of epithelial layer. They are made up of epithelial layer and have blood capillary for the exchange of gases. For the exchange of gases. So this was all about the human respiratory system. Tell me, is that clear or not? Yes, Martin.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then this is very important. The next thing is the steps of respiration, right? What are the steps of respiration? So you have to please note down. First, I will explain for you. Then you have to note down. So in the step of respiration, first is expiration and inspiration, right? When I say expiration and inspiration, so we expiration a removal of air, inspiration taking inside air. So this is a part of breathing. First expiration and inspiration takes place. Then the second step is that then diffusion of O2 and CO2 across membrane. So at the alveoli, diffusion of oxygen takes place into blood, and in return carbon dioxide is taken back by the lungs. Third, then these oxygen and carbon dioxide both are transported. So oxygen is transported from lungs to tissues, and carbon dioxide is transported back from the tissues to lungs. Then fourth is diffusion of O2 and CO2 takes place between blood and tissue. So blood goes to the tissue, it gives to O2 and take back O2, take back CO2. Then utilization of O2 takes place. So this A2O2 is utilized in Krebs cycle, right? In burning of food, right? That's how the respiration takes place. Note down, please, the step of respiration. Done.
Yes, sir.
Now the next thing is mechanism of breathing. Try to understand. So the first part, which is the inhalation. I will show you a video. With the help of video, you'll come to understand that how the inspiration and expiration takes place. Look. This is the lungs, right? So try to understand this part. This lower part, the blue color structure which is visible to you, that is a diaphragm. Try to understand. And there are two kind of the muscle. Try to understand. I want your 100% of, focus over here, Martin. So look, the lower part, that is diaphragm, and there are two kind of the muscles. The muscles which pull our ribs outside, they are called external intercostal muscle, right? So they pull rib, they pull our this one lungs outside. You try to understand from here. Here I have tried to show that these are the ribs, right? So there are some muscles which pull our ribs outside. They are called external intercostal muscle. So when they will contract, lungs will come outside, right? And there are some muscles which remains attached from the inner side of ribs. They are called internal intercostal muscle. When they contract, they pull the ribs inside, right? So there are two kind of the muscle: external intercostal muscle and internal intercostal muscle. Okay, Martin, after the video you have to draw this diagram, right? So first try to understand with the help of video. So this is the look. So when diaphragm goes back and intercostal muscle, they look, this is the diaphragm. When it goes back, goes down actually. So actually the lungs, they work like this way, right? So look, now you will come to know that how does it take place. What happened when internal intercostal muscle relax? Means these muscles, the internal muscle, they get relaxed, right? How does we inhalation takes place? When internal intercostal muscle relax, then what happened? External intercostal muscle contract. So when they will get relaxed, internal, this will contract. One will relax and one will contract. That's how it will take place. So when we take the how we inhalation takes place means how we breathe in. So when internal intercostal muscle relax, external intercostal muscle contract. Rib cage move upward and downward means it comes out and it goes upside, right? So rib cage move upward and outward, right? Then what will happen? Diaphragm contract and flatten. Diaphragm goes down. Volume of thoracic cavity will increase. Now, what will happen? The volume of this cavity will increase. When volume will increase, what will happen? The pressure will decrease, right? Then pressure in alveoli will decrease, right? And air will move automatically inside. You got this point, Martin? How we intake of air takes place, how inhalation takes place. Yes, Martin, tell me.
Yes,
So
sir.
please note down this diagram which I have drawn, and these all steps of inhalation. Mechanism of in respiration. The first thing is first subheading is inhalation, right? And you have to make this diagram, and this complete flowchart. Please, right now, make it. Don't make this diagram, but at least make this diagram, and let me know when you complete it. Done, Martin?
No, sir, I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, done, sir.
Okay, great. Now it's easy to understand how the exhalation, when we how we breathe out. The opposite of this one take place during exhalation means when we breathe out. What happened? Internal intercostal muscle contract. When internal, they will pull inside our ribs, right? So internal intercostal muscle contract. Then external intercostal muscle relax. That is quite obvious, right? So internal will contract. This diagram is shown. Internal contract and external get relaxed. So that's how the rib will move downward and inward, right? It will come down and inward, right? Diaphragm relax. Now this diaphragm come upward, right? Upside, due to which volume of thoracic cavity decreases. Now the volume get decreases, right? And pressure in alveoli increases. So now pressure more in inside, right? Then what will happen? Air will come out. So that's how air moves. So now please note down the exhalation.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay. So is it sufficient or should I dictate more for exhalation and inspiration? Tell me, Martin.
No, no,
Sufficient?
understandable, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine. Great. So the next thing you will see that there is a this one. Uh, Respiratory volumes or respiratory capacity. This you need to understand first, right? Then you have to note down. Fine. So I'll explain one by one. Respiratory volumes. It's easy, but you need to remember these. Respiratory volumes. They are called respiratory or pulmonary volume. Martin, they are equally important for medical as well as for your school exam. Right? IRB. There, TV is there, IRV is there, ERV is there. Reserve. Okay. Try to understand one by one. What is the tidal volume, TV? Look, the amount of air expired, inspired during normal breathing. Right. Try to understand. So, what is TV? Martin, suppose that I am right now, I'm teaching you that's normal activity. I am breathing out and breathing in. So every time when I breathe out or when I breathe in, every time I take 500 ml, take inside 500 ml air, not oxygen, air. 500 ml air and I breathe out 500 ml. We call it tidal volume. Is that clear? TV, right? Martin, TV clear? Tidal volume?
Yes,
Just
sir.
respond. Okay, so please note down TV or tidal volume. It is 500 ml. The amount of air, the amount of air expired or inspired, the amount of air expired or inspired during normal breathing. This is called TV. It is 6,000 ml, means 6 liter, 6,000 ml to 18,000 ml per minute. Next, IRV, ERV, right? So what is the IRV? IRV, full form of IRV, inspiratory reserve volume, right? Look, normally, whatever normally I am inspiring, that is TV, tidal volume. So normally I have taken in 500 ml. Other than 500 ml, the extra air which I breathe in forcefully, that is called IRV, inspiratory reserve volume, that remains in reserve condition, right? So normally I have breathed in 500 ml. What extra forcefully I am taking other than this 500 ml is called IRV. Got it, Martin?
Yes, sir.
Please note down. Second heading is IRV, inspiratory reserve volume. The extra amount of air that can be forcibly inspired after normal inspiration. Full stop. Thus, it is a forced inspiration. Thus, it is a forced inspiration. Full stop. It is 2500 ml to 3000 ml. It is 2500 ml to 3000 ml. Next, third one is ERV, expiratory reserve volume. So this is what is expiratory reserve volume. So normally when I expired out 500 ml. So suppose that I want to expire more other than this 500. So whatever I expire forcefully other than this 500 ml, that will be called ERV, expiratory reserve volume, right? So then forcefully, but I expired out, that is called ERV. Clear? Opposite to IRV. Clear, Martin?
Yes,
Please
sir.
note down. Please note down. ERV, expiratory reserve volume. The extra amount of air, the extra amount of air that can be expired that can be expired forcibly, forcibly after normal expiration is called ERV. Full stop. Thus, it is forced expiration. It is about 1000 to 1100 ml. Next, residual volume RV. Whatever the forcefully you expire, some amount of air remains in reserve that cannot be taken out, that keep our lungs inflated. Otherwise, they will just, so when you expired out every all air, then how you survive on that time? Extra amount always remains there. That is called residual volume RV. This cannot be taken out, right? So this is the total amount is 1100 to 1200 ml. So please note down the amount of air which still remains in lungs after forcible expiration. After forcible expiration is called RV. All clear? TV, IRV, ERV, and RV. Martin, very important. They are very important. They will come as a 2 marker question. Yes, Martin. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there are some more. ARV, ARV is there, RV is there. Fine. So inspiratory capacity. Fifth one in NCERT, inspiratory capacity. Right. So what is IC? Inspiratory capacity is tidal volume, means that 500, and inspiratory IRV. So that is 500 ml plus 25 to 3000 ml. Right. So that is IC, inspiratory capacity. Please note down. I think it should be clear because you know both TV and IRV. The same with expiratory capacity. So tidal volume again that 500 ml, and that expiratory reserve ERV 1000 to 1100 that forcefully expired, right? So again this is, so please note down both IRV and sorry IC and EC. I think Martin both are clear to you, EC and IC.
Yes, sir.
Done? Note down? Note it down?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now come to the FRC, functional residual capacity. Means this is the functional part, right? So what is the functional residual capacity? FRC. This is a residual volume which cannot be taken out, and expiratory reserve volume. Normally, it do not goes out. So in normal time, it always remains in our lung, right? So this is FRC is equal to RV residual volume, that is basically 1100 to 1200 plus ERV 1000 to 1100. So this is the called FRC, functional residual capacity, right? Note down, please. Done? Pardon?
Yes, sir.
Now come to the vital capacity. So vital capacity, uh, this is the basically the functional capacity of lungs. So this is total lung capacity. So total volume of lung is 3400 to 4800 ml, right? Why this 3400 to 4800? Basically, this is smaller in female and larger in males, right? And it depends on the age, sex, and volume, right? Vital capacity is total lung capacity, is total volume of lungs minus residual volume, which cannot be taken out, right? Please note down vital capacity. Done, Martin?
Yes, sir.
Last but not the least, total lung capacity. Again, the total lung capacity, this vital capacity, and plus residual volume. That's it. And total lung capacity is 3400 to 4800. Please note down the last. And in next class, we'll